The final moments of this episode, when the screen cuts to black and you hear Stain's voice actor say, "Die," and then the episode ends, I'm like, yo, the way Studio Bones delivered that final line at the end of this episode made me fanboy so hard. Like, this episode is what I've been waiting for a while, to get Stain's ideology, why he does the things he does, why does he attack heroes. We finally get to see what makes this man tick, and I can finally talk about it, which makes me very, very happy. So, anime onlys, I think many of you might now understand why I find Stain's character so fascinating. He's a fascinating character because even though he's a villain, in some ways, you can actually factor him into the anti-hero category. But he's not a full-on anti-hero either because of what he does and how he has killed people. He has killed heroes, he's injured them completely, and he's even willing to kill other villains as well. So this man isn't entirely a villain, but he's very warped. He's a very warped individual that has his own worldview, and basically he is trying to correct society, the corruption that is in society. So, what is Stain's ideology? Why do I like this character so much? Well, number one, when you look at Stain as a character, at his first introduction, you don't really know much about the world of how it really works in Boku no Hero. The only thing we really know about the world of Boku no Hero Academia is the stuff that our main cast of characters have learned through school, through the other heroes they have seen, or on TV. And so, these kids being brought up in the society, we have seen their worldview. However, Stain kind of throws a big wrench in the middle of that, and you're like, holy crap, now you kind of understand what is wrong with the hero society. So let's explain. When you think of heroes, okay, just think of any hero in your mind, or picture a hero. When you think of a hero, you think of someone that is going to go out there and fight to save someone. They're going to fight to save lives. They're willing to lay down their own life to save others. They're willing to throw down their life, lose everything, just to make sure they could save one individual. That is what heroes are. Or even if heroes die or don't die, the fact is they're told through stories, through legends, and people think of these heroes as someone that is you should aspire to be. They're rare, but at the same time, their acts of heroism is always remembered. They go out of their way for, selfless reasons. They don't do it out of selfish reasons for gain, money, fame, whatever. They do it for the reason of wanting to save people. That is what a hero is. That's what you imagine a hero to be. People that are selfless, that go out to help others, and they don't think about anything else. They don't care about getting a reward or anything like that. And that's what Stain was trying to show. He was opening up the pot and letting us see all the disgusting, just mess that is inside of the society of Boku no Hero Academia, of how the actual title hero has been corrupted. It is not the same meaning anymore. When he thinks of a hero, he thinks about what I just said. But today's heroes in the society of Boku no Hero Academia, they are not like that. A lot of heroes are very corrupt. Maybe not evil, but they're corrupt in a way because they're not really donning the hero title or giving the hero title justice. Because not everybody can be a hero. Let's face the facts here. Not everybody can, but this is how the world works now when it comes to Boku no Hero. Everybody can go to school to become a hero. But when you think of heroes, you don't think of going to school to become a hero. That doesn't define you as a hero. That doesn't make a hero. What makes a hero is someone going out there for their selfless reasons to save someone. And when you're going to school, and then you're doing this as a profession to get money or fame or whatever, it's no longer the same meaning anymore. That can no longer be said to be what a hero is. So, that is what Stain is trying to say. He's trying to say that since heroism has become so popular, it's where everybody is becoming a hero, they're going to school to become a hero, and when they're getting money out of it, you cannot say you're a hero. You're fakes. You are a fake hero. Because true heroes are people that don't want anything for what they do. But that is what many heroes have been shown what they're doing. There's been perfect examples in Season 2 of Boku no Hero Academia that has shown that there is many heroes, even the top heroes, that are not worthy of their title. The first big name that comes to mind is Endeavor. Think of Endeavor for a second, okay? Endeavor is everything that is wrong with the current system of society. He is the number 2 hero. He is number 2. He is up there. He is someone that is recognized. He has a lot of fame, popularity. He can get away with anything he wants. He was able to do that crusty, horrible shit to Todoroki and his entire family because he wanted to have someone that could surpass All Might. And the reason why he was able to do this was because of his popularity as a hero. He used his popularity, his hero status, to accomplish selfish reasons. Not selfless, selfish. And when you see that, you're like, holy shit, what Stain is saying is very true. But it's not just Endeavor. Let's also think about other characters. Let's think about, who our other characters have been with. Like Momo, for instance. She's training with someone, and you have someone that's using her title as a hero to have photo shoots, talk shows, and all of that. And that's something you don't expect a hero to be doing. A hero wanting to go out there and just gain publicity and all that, be on news media and all of that, and just being constantly shown, that's not what a hero is about. And that's kind of also showing how there's a bunch of heroes using the hero title as a crutch to be able to do other things, just for their own selfish desires. And like I said, that is what Stain is trying to stop. He doesn't like this, because no longer is the hero title what it used to be, because there's so many out there that are donning this title, but you're not a hero, because you're going out there for your own reasons. You're going out for selfish reasons, not selfless. And then, Ochako as well is another prime example. Ochako, even though she's doing it for noble reasons, she is wanting to gain money for her family, at the same time, this is not what a hero really is. That's not. A hero is not meant to just do something like that. A hero is meant to go out of their own way to do things without any rewards at all. That's what a hero is supposed to do, and that's what Stain thinks a hero is supposed to do. So Ochako going out of her way to get money also is showcasing that Stain would not like her at all. He would probably go out of his way to injure her or kill her because of how she wants to do these certain things. How she wants to gain money is through becoming a hero. So, once again, there's been so many examples of what is wrong with the society, and Stain is trying to correct this. Now, like I said, Stain's viewpoint, his worldview, is very twisted and warped, but he does have a major point. What he is doing is honestly opening up everybody's eyes to realize there is something wrong. The system is broken, it needs to be fixed, because not everyone should be able to become a hero. But at the same time, you also have villains that are just in the same status as the heroes as well. With the increase of heroes and all that, obviously there's going to be villains that are going to be villains for the sake of being villains. They're going to want to destroy for the sake of destroying. And Stain, he doesn't like that either. He doesn't like villains that don't have conviction. He doesn't like villains that have no fucking reason to do whatever they're doing. For instance, if you're a villain going out of your way and you're going to go kill an innocent person and you just do it like, oh, I killed him because I'm fucking evil, he doesn't like that. He wants you to have a reason for what you do. Even if it's a warped, twisted viewpoint, he wants you to have a reason. He wants you to have some form of conviction for what you're doing, why you're doing these things. And so Stain is not on anybody's side. He is not on the villain's side. He is not on the hero's side. He is on his own side, trying to correct both sides and make a proper, I guess, actual world. A world that has heroes versus villains. And that is what he's trying to make everybody become aware of. Let's explain why he's going to different towns and doing hero killing. Why he's going out of his way to harm individuals or kill them. The reason for it is because when he attacks a certain town and he either maims someone to the point where they can no longer be a hero, or he kills heroes, it scares the other fake heroes. Think about it like this, okay? Think about what I just said. Stain let us know that there's so many fake heroes out there that they're not really doing it out of the kindness of their heart. They're doing it for their own desires. And so when Stain was going out of his way, killing people, harming people, it made all of these heroes in that city become very self-aware. They were aware of what he was doing. For instance, people that don't want to risk their lives, people that don't want to die, they're not going to go in. They're going to stay back and hide, and then they don't want to go and do hero work at all. That's what Stain was trying to prove. That when he made certain heroes actually die, or he hurt them in a way, other heroes wouldn't step up because they were fake heroes. While the only heroes that were actually doing work was the true heroes, the heroes that go out of their own way for selfless reasons to actually help out society. And so any hero that was doing work at the time after Stain left, they were actually true heroes. Those were heroes that were trying to better society, and that is why crime rate went down, was because these heroes were going the extra mile to make sure crime wouldn't be so high. So that is what Stain has been doing. He's been systematically going to different city after city, hunting down certain individuals to make them as an example to show how fucked up the society is, how the system works in general, and how there's heroes that won't want to fight Stain or stop Stain because they don't want to die. Now, another perfect example of this is also heroes that don't want to fight people that are out of their, I guess, district. Okay, let's see, I'm trying to think of a good example. Okay, let's say someone had the ability, like Kamui, okay, let's use Kamui. Kamui has the ability to use wood and all that, okay? The man, let's say he was up against someone that had a fire quirk, okay? You even see this in the first chapter, actually. In the first chapter, you see a Boku no Hero Academia, or the first episode, you see Kamui not being able to intervene at all because someone actually had fire. There was fire going around, he's like, I'm not good with this, there's nothing I can do. And this set a perfect example up with how heroes are not like how they should be. It's been in our face the entire time, and just now with Stain's introduction into the series, it makes you realize what has really been happening. For instance, there's heroes with the title that can use like certain quirks, like I said, Kamui and his wood quirk. If someone had a fire-based quirk, he wouldn't go in there. He wouldn't fight, he wouldn't try to stall or save people's lives, because he is weak against that. He doesn't want to risk himself. And so that is what Stain is exposing as well. It's not just heroes that are in it for the greed, or, money, or any other thing like self-gain. He's also showing an example that there's heroes out there, even if they're at a disadvantage, they won't want to go in. They don't go in. And that was what made Izuku so different at the beginning of the series. When he charged in as someone with no quirk, he went in to save Bakugo. And others with quirk abilities didn't go in because they weren't suited for that villain, that combat. And someone without a quirk was able to do more than people with a quirk. So it set the difference between what makes a fake hero and a real hero. And that is what Stain is trying to prove here, and why, even if you're not in it for your own, selfish desires and gain, even then, if you're someone that avoids fights because you're weak against them, then you're not a hero. You're not. You can't be considered a hero at all. So yeah, Stain, very interesting character. I love his ideology, and he is someone that honestly, I just loved so much when I was reading the manga for the first time. He's a fascinating character that showcases one of the big things that's been in our face at the beginning of this series, and you're finally realizing actually what's going on here in the world of Boku no Hero Academia. Now, with that being said, let's talk about some symbolism going on with Izuku and Shigaraki. So, I don't know how many noticed this or not, but in this episode, it wasn't just Izuku going through training. It was also Shigaraki. Shigaraki, as we know, he was pushed down by Stain, and Stain looked like he was about to cut this man up, like completely decapitate him and he was gonna die. But then Stain got off and let him be. And you see in the exact same similar way that Izuku, he was pushed down by Gran Torino. Gran Torino pushed him down and all that, and he was on top of him, trying to teach him a lesson. So, in these two different scenes, even though Shigaraki's on the villain side, and Izuku's on the hero side, there was a lot of symbolism there. There are a lot of parallels between these characters. They're both learning how to better themselves in their own certain path. For instance, Izuku's trying to become a better hero, while Shigaraki's trying to become a better villain. And so you see both of these characters progressing down the exact same path. I mean, in different ways, but they're very similar, and that's what this episode was trying to showcase with that symbolism when, like I said, Stain pushed Shigaraki down, and when Gran Torino pushed Izuku down. Like I said, parallels and symbolism. And this is something that's been going on for a long time. Both of these characters are learning from their own side on how to better themselves, and better themselves as a villain or a hero. So, like I said, interesting stuff. Very good stuff there in this episode of Boku no Hero Academia, and I'm glad Studio Bones went that far to kind of showcase that. They didn't need to really make it that obvious, but I'm glad they did, because it would actually mean that anime onlys could pick that up. Now, another thing, too, to talk about, let's talk about, Shigaraki's introduction, like the villains coming in, the train getting destroyed and all that. You see the Nomu pop up, and you see how Gran Torino just tackles the bitch and just shoves him out of the train. Very good moment. That was a solid moment. That was a moment I've honestly been waiting for to actually see animated for a while now, because I knew this part is going to be chaotic and interesting as fuck for anime onlys and even manga readers, and to actually finally see it animated, and to finally see, you know, Izuku see Nomu pop up, and all, more Nomus pop up, the music starts playing, and you just see how the town is getting obliterated and all that, you see fire in the distance, it looks like an actual natural disaster, like a big disaster going on, you're like, holy fuck, this is really bad, and so this is no longer a game, this is no longer, you know, just a, you know, a enclosed area fighting villains with the students. This is actually happening in a city. A bunch of villains going in and attacking the city, killing people, harming people, and there's just so much chaos going on that it's just like, it's scary. It's very jarring how serious and dark this arc got. And like I said, when this arc began, this is when the tone of Boku no Hero Academia shifts. Soon as Stain's introduction happened, that is when Boku no Hero shifted with its tone. It no longer was always happy. It has those happy moments still, but it's not always going to be happy anymore. It has that darker tone behind it now because of what this arc does, what it brings to the table, and that is what this is trying to show. That's not going to always be fun and games. There is going to be a lot of darkness in this series. So I like the music that was used, I like the animation art in that scene, and how Gran Torino instantly attacked the Nomu and pushed him out, and I like just seeing how Izuku was looking outside the train and all that, seeing the devastation in the city. Badass stuff. Now, speaking of Shigaraki, though, I want to get back into him. I love the voice actor of Shigaraki. I remember fanboying so hard when I watched Season 1, and I realized that Shigaraki's voice actor was Meruem from Hunter x Hunter. I remember just, like, fanboying so hard. I'm like, holy shit, I love Meruem's voice actor. Great voice actor. Some of the best moments I've ever seen in anime was thanks to that voice actor. And having Shigaraki be Meruem's voice actor, it fits the character so perfectly. And when you hear that laugh, when he's just sitting there laughing when he's on the rooftop and the city's burning, that made me actually remember Meruem so much when Meruem used to laugh and all that. And I'm like, oh my god, like, Boku no Hero giving me them feels right now. Like, you're legit giving me a lot of feels right now watching this series. So, yeah, I love this episode. It was some great stuff. And also, we have a very great moment with Ida. So, I guess I should get into that. So, besides Stain's worldview and all that, Ida is showing examples of what is wrong with heroes as well, and how he is not an actual hero in this moment, or in this episode. Remember what I said about Stain earlier on. I'm not going to repeat that. Remember what I said about Stain. Stain doesn't like people that are not true heroes. And in this case, when you think of a hero, you don't think of heroes that have vengeance in their heart. You don't think of people that have, like, motives for selfish reasons. Ida, he wants to get, you know, vengeance against Stain for hurting his brother, even though in some ways many would want to side with Ida because, like, I can understand, you know, his brother was harmed, and, you know, his entire symbol was destroyed. You still can't say what Ida is doing right now is actually an act of a hero. A hero doesn't do that. A hero doesn't go out of their way to be someone that wants to get, you know, revenge against someone. And so when Stain was talking to Ida before, you know, he found out how Ida really was, he's like, look, you need to get out of here, kid. You know, this isn't your battlefield. I don't want to kill a kid. It kind of showcases what type of person Stain is as well. Even though he's a villain and he is borderline anti-hero, he's not an actual asshole. He's not someone that goes around and kills kids. He's like, I'm not gonna kill you, kid. I don't want to kill you. But he's like, I will harm you if I don't like what you have to say to me. And so, Ida, when he says, like, I'm here to stop you, and he called himself his brother's name and all that, he took that title, and he was here to, like, put down Stain, and Stain, you know, cut the black, and he's like, die. What Ida did right there was showcase that he is not worthy of the title hero. He is not worthy to don a hero name because of what he's doing in that given moment. And that's why Stain was pissed off and why he said, die. Because what Ida's doing is everything he hates about the fake heroes. That's why he said die at the end of the episode. Another thing, too, is also a big example of what Stain is as a person, too. It's not the fact that he, you know, hates how society is, but also shows that he has hope for a lot of people in society. The reason why he doesn't want to harm kids is because there is a potential possibility that they could become actual real heroes or real villains, and he doesn't want to snuff that light out so early. And that is why he doesn't really want to harm kids, because think about it like this. Being at a young age, kids are still developing their motives, their ideals, their worldview. And so this can easily be twisted, corrupted, or brightened in any way, and that's why he doesn't want to snuff out a life so easily, like a kid's life. But he will if he sees that there's just no point of return for that certain person. He's willing to just end them right then and there. And so that is why he doesn't want to actually kill Ida at first, is because Ida could have been a very good hero. But now that he said what he said and donned a hero title when he is not worthy of said title, that is why he said die. So, like I said, great episode. Can't wait to see what happens next. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And I love you all so much. Please be safe. Chibi out.